This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth with what may very well be my most important video of 2020. So please stick around, guys. It's incredibly important that you understand this information moving forward. We're going to start with this. Cases are meaningless, guys. Cases don't equal infections. Cases drive harmful lockdowns. Cases are a tool for irrational fear. This chart that you're looking at right here, guys, the blue line represents cases, the green line represents hospitalizations, and the red line represents death counts. As you can see, yes, the blue line is rising exponentially, but hospitalizations are going down, and the death count is remaining relatively stagnant. So it's incredibly important to understand what cases actually mean. So let's go look at the Ontario Ministry of Health. Let's do a search for case definitions, shall we? We search case definitions and we find here, oh, they define cases right here for us. We have probable cases, presumptive cases, confirmed cases, and I just wanted to make clear which ones are being counted, guys. So I went to cdc.gov and we look at right here, what is a COVID-19 case? A COVID-19 case includes confirmed and probable cases and deaths. Guys, remember that. It includes confirmed and probable cases. Okay, well, what's a probable case, ladies and gentlemen? A person who has not been lab tested with symptoms compatible with COVID-19 and who traveled to an affected area or who had close contact with a confirmed case. Guys, are you seeing this for what it is? Cases are literally just people who have symptoms. They haven't even been tested. They could have maybe just been contact traced from being at a restaurant with some other person who has this thing, and they're not necessarily positive or negative or even tested. They're just on the app. They are counted as a case too, guys. This is just unbelievable, and the fact that this is leading towards things like this, masks to become mandatory in Prince Edward Island when their death counts are 0. Ladies and gentlemen, look at these numbers. Cases, 68 versus recovered cases, 65. There are literally only 3 cases in the entirety of Prince Edward Island with 0 deaths. Yet, they've decided to mandate mandatory masks in all public places. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not about health. This is all about control, and this is spreading. Saskatchewan brings in province-wide mask mandates and limits gatherings to 5. In fact, they say everything's open and few are sick in Canada's so-called Atlantic bubble, which is about to be completely shut down, guys, and I feel very bad for those neighbors to the east of ours who are in the Atlantic bubble. So today we're going to cover all of this, guys, and much more, so stick around while we do. But before we do, I'd ask that you check us out here at pressfortruth.ca/donate if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information. You can contribute PayPal. You can do Bitcoin or become a patron. You can contribute other cryptocurrencies here. You can sign up as a monthly reoccurring amount here. You can do an e-transfer here to dan@pressfortruth.ca, or you can send cash or checks or equipment or simply words of encouragement to Dan Dicks, P.O. Box 1521, Squamish BC V8B 0B1. Links are located in the description below. All right, guys. Context is incredibly important moving forward to understand how we are currently being manipulated. This chart here, as you see this little tiny dot here, is coronavirus. The little black circle inside represents deaths. And if you compare the size of it to, as you see here, suicides, tuberculosis is worse, kidney disease is far worse, diabetes is far worse, liver disease, lower respiratory infections, respiratory disease, cancers, a cardiovascular disease. All these things are far, far worse, but are we completely shutting down society because of these things? No, this goes to show it's simply not about health and safety. It's completely about control. Now get a load of this, guys. Effective November 20th, this coming Friday, non-medical masks or face coverings will be mandatory in all indoor public spaces in Prince Edward Island, despite the fact that there are 0 deaths and only 3 cases of people who are just chilling at home right now. They're not even in the hospital. It's just absolute lunacy. Chief Public Health Officer Dr. Heather Morrison says the change is in part due to a surging COVID cases across the country. This is the problem I have, guys. We've already explained what constitutes a so-called case and why we're seeing such a rise in the numbers. And the rise in the numbers is what's causing the irrational fear state and the rise in people wearing masks. If these masks worked, guys, would we continue to see the numbers going in the way they are? It's just absolute lunacy and insanity. As I said, it's all about total control. While many islanders are wearing masks faithfully, we can collectively do a better job of protecting ourselves and others. Much like our neighbors in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, we are relying on islanders to do the right thing and routinely wear a mask when in public places. Again, guys, I want to remind you of these numbers. 68 cases, 65 recovered, that's 0 deaths, 3 people with cases who probably haven't even been tested. They're just regular people. And yet they've shut down the entire thing. He says, this isn't about the cases here. This is about the turbulence we are seeing all across the country, Premier Dennis King. PEI Premier Dennis King says the province will make mask wearing mandatory in indoor public spaces in order to blunt the impact of COVID-19. Although Tuesday's weekly briefing included the information that PEI has no new cases. This is just pure insanity. Saskatchewan brings in province-wide mask mandates. While coronavirus cases continue to surge, Saskatchewan is expanding its mask mandate to cover the entire province and further restricting social gatherings, setting a new lower cap of 5 people. And again, this all is coming from this talk of the so-called Atlantic bubble, which, as we see here, according to Bloomberg, the 4 provinces, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and New Brunswick, have formed what they call the Atlantic bubble. And while there's mild grumbling about struggling businesses, it's a whisper compared to much of the continent. Lisa Barrett, an infectious disease specialist at Dalhousie University Faculty of Medicine in Halifax, explained it in this way. The people who live here have been incredibly compliant with the precautions. It's far more a culture of, let's get this done and stick with it, as opposed to, I really don't feel this is my job. Do you hear the careful, calculated language they are doing and using here? They're saying, the reason why we're doing so good over here is because we're obedient slaves. We don't question the health authorities. We just obediently follow orders. And that's why we're doing well, because we got a bunch of obedient slaves who are just following orders. It's like this idiot on Twitter. He recently said this: to those who reject masks, Sean Penn, by the way, to those who reject masks, please change your mind. People are suffering and dying, and the economy is totally collapsing entirely due to you. Are you serious, you tool? The economy isn't collapsing due to people who are anti-mask. It's not even collapsing due to COVID-19. The economy is collapsing because the powers that ought not to be have an agenda for what's called the Great Reset, or as I've been calling for decades now, the New World Order. They have an agenda to fundamentally change the way society operates and to bring the power into fewer and fewer hands, essentially, and by moving forward on this 2030 agenda to control all resources, to consolidate power into fewer hands, and to do it under the guise of helping to protect and save you. This is why the fear state is so important for them right now, to have you absolutely terrified so that you will willingly be able to relinquish certain securities and liberties in order to gain this safety blanket and security like they have over there in the Atlantic bubble. All you got to do, though, is let the jackboot authorities clamp down on you and shove their boot down on your face. Well, I'm here to say, reject this nonsense, guys. PEI has 0 deaths, 3 cases. That really means nothing, and they're shutting down the entire province. They're mandating masks in all indoor public spaces. This should have you outraged, and this should make you realize they don't care about health. This is all about controlling people moving forward. I hope you understand that, guys. Please share this video. Click the thumbs up button. Let people know, hey, look, Dan Dicks, Press for Truth. He went here. He sees cdc.gov. Here they explain what cases are. Cases include probable cases. You go to the website where they explain what a probable case is, and it shows it's basically anything. You look at the numbers and yeah, cases are going skyrocketing, but it doesn't mean anything. As this person pointed out, cases are meaningless. They don't equal infections. They drive harmful lockdowns, and they're a tool for irrational fear. Guys, if you agree, please click the thumbs up button. Share this video if you appreciate the information I'm bringing to this channel. Don't forget to check us out at pressfortruth.ca/donate if you would like to financially contribute to my efforts. And that's all for today, my friends. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned. We're going to have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.